All right, yeah. What's up, everybody? It's me. It's Dave. There's a lot going on in pro wrestling. Couldn't wait till Friday with Dave and Johnny. We have a lot of things happening, a lot of late-breaking news in the WWE. We're going to break it down here real quick, and then we'll discuss it at length on our TLC preview this coming weekend with Wrestling Uncensored, Dave and Johnny Live, and all that good stuff. But right now, WWE announcing a few matches for TLC. Bray Wyatt is going to be taking on The Miz. You have Roman Reigns taking on King Corbin in a TLC match. And also the New Day taking on the Revival, which is like, whatever. That's totally fine. We're going to talk about the Roman and King Corbin thing. People going into the WWE Hall of Fame, they're already announcing people from the Hall of Fame next year. It's December. WrestleMania is in April. Hall of Fame the night before WrestleMania. Not really sure why they're doing that. I'll tell you who's going into the Hall of Fame this year and some releases from the WWE as well. It's just been a crazy weekend in the WWE. So here Monday morning, going to get you updated on what happened. So Bray Wyatt versus The Miz. First of all, if you saw SmackDown, you saw what happened between Bray and The Miz. The Miz was cutting a promo asking Bray Wyatt what happened to Daniel Bryan. Of course, last week on SmackDown, we saw the show end with The Fiend bringing Daniel Bryan under the ring and then pulling out chunks of hair that were supposedly Daniel Bryan's, but obviously if there was that much hair, there would be blood as well, and it was just ridiculous. It was a ridiculous scene, and we haven't seen Daniel Bryan since. We're all expecting to see Daniel Bryan on SmackDown this week, see his new look, see the haircut, see whatever changes happen to Daniel Bryan. But, of course, the WWE didn't give us Daniel Bryan this week. Instead, they gave us The Miz coming out, asking what happened to Daniel Bryan, wondering where Daniel Bryan was. Bray Wyatt shows a picture of The Miz's family, which sets him off. He goes berserk. He goes backstage hunting for Bray Wyatt. He finds him. He finds Bray Wyatt, not The Fiend, right? He's finding not the guy in the mask. He's finding the guy in the sweater, who's normally in the Firefly Funhouse. I'm not really sure how Miz found him backstage all of a sudden, right? He was in the Funhouse 1 minute. Next minute, he's backstage like a regular WWE superstar. The Miz gets beat up by Bray Wyatt, and then they announce a match. So it's going to be Bray Wyatt versus The Miz at TLC. Now, it's very important, the distinction between Bray Wyatt and The Fiend, right? It seems like the WWE is kind of booking them as two separate characters. It makes sense for him to be double booked at TLC. I think Bray Wyatt's going to wrestle The Miz. Right now, apparently it's a non-title match, which I don't really understand. He's the Universal Champion. Why not defend the title? But, no one really expects The Miz to take the title from Wyatt anyways, so what's the point, I suppose? But I think it's going to be The Fiend against Daniel Bryan, hopefully in some sort of gimmick match, maybe a ladder match, a tables match, something. It's TLC. You would expect something to go down, right? But I think Daniel Bryan will wind up showing up on SmackDown Friday night, and then they'll set up Daniel Bryan versus The Fiend, and then Bray Wyatt, The Fiend, Bo Rotunda, whatever you want to call him, he's going to wind up wrestling twice on Sunday night at TLC, which does make a lot of sense because the guy wrestles so sparingly, at least not on TV. He's doing a house show loop and all that. He's on the road. He's working, but not on TV. And you think about how many TV matches everybody else has to wrestle, whereas Bray Wyatt, he's never wrestling on TV, just doing these promos. He's catching a break right now. So to have him double booked on a pay-per-view makes a lot of sense to me because, he needs the work. He hasn't been wrestling that often. He wrestles on pay-per-view, and that's pretty much it, right? And also at TLC, 2 title matches, or at least the champion wrestling twice, would make sense with the absence of Brock Lesnar. With Brock Lesnar, the WWE champion, not appearing at TLC, it would make sense for the Universal champion to be double booked, right? So I think that's probably what's going to go down at TLC. As for the Roman Reigns thing, he got handcuffed to the ring post on the outside of the ring. Dolph Ziggler and King Corbin poured dog food upon him, which was pretty gross. Like, it looked like real dog food, or if it wasn't real dog food, Campbell's Chunky Soup or whatever it was. You don't want that poured on you. It's pretty disgusting. Roman, I'm sure, had a nice long shower after that. It was pretty gross. But that's about it. Not a great way to end a show. And that's SmackDown these days. I feel like SmackDown is worse than Raw. I feel like Raw is the superior show somehow. I don't know how they did that. Maybe by featuring Kevin Owens so much. I think that's doing Raw some big favors. This Roman Reigns, King Corbin thing with the dog and the big dog and the dog mascot and now the dog food. I mean, what are they going to do? A puppy on a pole match next? It's absolutely ridiculous. And they're going to wrestle a TLC match. It's the TLC match no one asked for. Roman Reigns versus Baron Corbin. These guys, what are they really going to do in a TLC? Do you expect them to take ridiculous bumps? Do you expect them to really go out there and deliver a classic TLC match? I do not. Those two guys, decent wrestlers, whatever you want to say, people like them, it's fine. But they're not TLC-type performers, you know? They're not the Jeff Hardys, they're not the Edge, the Christians, the, RVDs, CM Punk, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, in recent type of ladder matches. Sin Cara. Oh, well, not Sin Cara anymore, right? But there have been guys in the WWE that are maybe more adept to a TLC style. What's AJ Styles doing? He's wrestling Rey Mysterio. Them in a TLC match would be pretty awesome, but, they're older guys. I don't know if they want to do that to their bodies. I hope Roman Reigns and King Corbin can do something. I don't really understand the point of a TLC match. It's a ladder match, right? The TLC match traditionally is a ladder match where something is suspended above the ring and you have to go get it. A title belt, a briefcase, whatever. There's nothing on the line here. Why are they doing a TLC match? It's ridiculous. And this is the kind of marquee match of the pay-per-view, right? It's called TLC. Hopefully Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch take on the Kabuki Warriors in the other TLC match, and that saves the pay-per-view. Because this Roman Reigns, King Corbin thing, no bueno. No bueno. I talked about Sin Cara. He's released from the WWE. Luke Harper released from the WWE, as were the Ascension. None of those guys are really doing anything. They're all talented wrestlers. They'd be great additions to any major roster across North America or, Japan, whatever. Harper would be awesome in New Japan, right? Very throwback to, the old days. Big Brody, right? I think Harper is very, reminiscent of that. Brody Lee, right? That was his indie name. Harper, Bruiser Brody, he would match really well in New Japan. Harper and Lance Archer would be one hell of a match out there. I think Harper would do well in AEW. A lot of people think, as soon as people are released from the WWE, they're going to go to AEW, but I don't know. The Ascension are a good tag team. I think they'd be really good for New Japan as well, kind of beef up their tag team division. Impact Wrestling as well would be a great home for any of these guys. AEW for sure. Mexico. Of course, the door may be open for Sin Cara in Mexico. I don't know. But I'm sure he's going to be able to find work because we've seen him on TV. He's a very talented wrestler. All these guys are talented wrestlers, and I'm sure they'll be able to find homes outside of the WWE. The Ascension, Harper, Sin Cara, they all wanted out. They all asked for their release, and now they're finally getting it. There was word a couple weeks ago that the WWE was going to start releasing people that wanted to go, and now they've done it. They released 4 people over the weekend. And finally here, just before we wrap up, Batista and the NWO are going to be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. Why are they announcing it so early? I'm not really sure. Maybe it has something to do with Batista's schedule and I don't know, but why the NWO too, right? It doesn't really make a lot of sense to me why they're announcing Hall of Fame inductees in December for a show in April. Maybe they're having trouble selling tickets to the Hall of Fame. That could be it. I don't know. I haven't seen ticket sales for the Hall of Fame. We could look into that and give you more info on Friday on Dave and Johnny Live as far as ticket sales go. Maybe this is a boost, right? You see Hulk Hogan, always a draw. Batista, big name in the wrestling business. I think it makes a lot of sense for these guys to be going into the WWE Hall of Fame. Of course, the NWO, a classic group. Batista, one of the biggest names in the past 20 years in the pro wrestling business. Made a big name for himself in the movies as well, right? And Hulk Hogan now going into the Hall of Fame a second time with the NWO. Sean Waltman, didn't he go in with DX? So he's going in a second time. Kevin Nash has been inducted. He's going in a second time, as is Scott Hall. Scott was inducted as Razor Ramon. This time he'll go in as part of the NWO as a group, but, you know, this is his second ring that he'll get from the Hall of Fame induction. So all four of these guys getting put in for a second time into the WWE Hall of Fame. Deserving for sure. Hulk Hogan, legend. All these guys, legends. The NWO, too sweet for life, brother. And that's how we're going to end it. Catch me every week doing the shows. Like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, click the bell when you subscribe so you get the notifications every time that we're on. I'll be on this Thursday, 8 p.m. for the MMA show. You see Alistair Overeem get his face ripped up at UFC Washington, D.C. That was vicious. Dan Miragliotta screwing Stefan Struve. What were you doing, Dan Miragliotta, trying to convince him to fight? We're going to talk about that this Thursday, 8 p.m., Ringside Report live. We'll also preview UFC 245. Check us out every Thursday right here on the YouTube channel at 8 p.m. Dave and Johnny live at 12:30 on Friday. And then Wrestling Uncensored, the WWE TLC in-depth preview coming up on Saturday morning. Thanks for watching. See you later.